welcome to episode 66 of the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is my place on YouTube to talk about all things knitting and crochet and craft related, all of that good stuff. My name is Ali. I live in Kent in the very southeast of the UK with my husband and our two daughters. And you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali. What else? There are timestamps underneath this video in the description box for all of the things that I talk about, should you wish to come back and find anything. There are also show notes, so anything I talk about is listed underneath. If you don't catch the name of something, or I say it in a weird way, or I've forgotten the name of something, I'll link it underneath in the description box. If I've missed anything, just drop me an email or a comment and I will do my best to get back to you. Welcome. It is Monday morning. It is 5 to 9 in the morning. I've just got back from the school run, so I have no cup of tea or anything because I'm still a little bit warm from walking back. It's about a 20-minute walk to the school and a 20-minute walk back. Very, very busy this morning. And I am due to go and help the local parish council this morning at 11 o'clock to do a lorry watch. They're doing an all-day lorry watch on the road where the schools are today. So I have got 2 hours to get this podcast done and dusted. So let's hope I do it within 2 hours. Otherwise you're going to be here for a long time. So let's get started. We're going to talk about finished objects. I actually don't have any finished objects. I've got a half finished object, some works in progress, some incoming stuff. I'm going to talk about the Strictly Sock Along because it is Strictly season. So from now until Christmas, I'm going to talk about the Strictly Sock Along. I'm going to talk about some books and stuff. And I think that's about it. The rest will make up as we go along. It is finally autumn, so I'm wearing a jumper. I'm very happy, and I did the school run this morning in boots and hand knit socks. So I'm a very, very happy bunny. Autumn is my time of year. I just feel grateful to have survived summer, and yeah, I can think more clearly when the weather turns colder. So I'm very, very happy. What else? I've hurt my back, although it's a lot better today. I've been exercising a lot recently. I've signed up to do the Tough Mudder next year. Has anyone ever done that? I don't know what I was thinking when I agreed to do that with the school mums. So, but I've been exercising quite a lot since lockdown anyway, because I started with Jo Wicks. I've moved on to Natasha Ocean now. Anyway, I was doing a hip workout on Saturday and I pulled a muscle in my back and it really hurt. So I was a bit of an invalid yesterday, but I do feel a lot better today. And that's all a big tangent, because what you really want to hear about is what my half finished object is. So let's get started with finished objects, or, you know, half finished objects. Where is it? Okay, just put my notebook down there. So these are my pre-Strictly socks. This gorgeous bag is by Michelle at Oh So Pretty. I might have her card in here. What have I got in here? Got all kinds of things in here. Yeah, this is her card. Oh So Pretty. There you go, hold that up so you can get a good look at it. And I am making some socks in this bag. Now, I started them ages ago because I made some Halloween socks last year with the yarn from Green Lambkin Yarns, which I always get the name of, but I always get the name wrong, but fortunately I have the card here. It's Witchy Long Stockings on Sparkle Sock by, ooh, I just threw the tag across the room, by Green Lambkin Yarns. There we go. So this was a gift from Suzanne, who is Green Lambkin Yarns, last year sometime. It's a Halloween colourway, and I made the most fabulous Halloween socks using this yarn. And the purple that I'm using with this, I'll show you the socks before I start rabbiting on about the yarn. So I made socks, and I had enough left to make some shorty socks. So I thought I'll make shorty socks for my eldest daughter Lilia. She's 14. She loves wearing shorty socks around the house. I'm just going to grab my sock blockers out of the wardrobe. I'm up in my bedroom again because although I managed to film in my kitchen again last episode, I noticed that the fridge has got rather noisy and it kind of was rattling in the background, and it's a lot quieter up here. So I'm kind of moved into the bedroom as my podcasting space. So this is my half finished object. This is the Witchy Long Stockings yarn by Green Lambkin Yarns. It's super sparkly. I absolutely love it, and I've got a super sparkly purple colour on the toe and just for the first few rounds of the top of the cuff. The purple colour was a gift from Lorraine, lovely Lorraine, a viewer of this podcast. So I used this purple in the original socks as well. So I've got one pair of socks and now I've got half of a shorty pair of socks, and from this little ball of yarn I have still got this amount left to either go into swaps or go into one of my scrappy blankets. So not bad if you consider that a skein of hand-dyed yarn is what? Well, depending on the dyer and the fibre, it could be about £17 for a skein of yarn. So that is going to have done me 2 pairs of socks, all those hours of pleasure of knitting, and some left over for my scrappy projects as well. So that's the first sock, and then and the reason I'm making these, I feel like I'm not getting to the point. These are my pre-Strictly socks because I don't have any more needles, and the needles that I needed were being used for these, so I had to finish these or frog them in order to get the needles in order to make my Strictly socks. Strictly socks, in case you don't know, are socks that you make whilst watching either Strictly Come Dancing or Dancing with the Stars. And for the last 4 years I've run a big knit along where that's what we do. So I can't start my own Strictly socks until I've got the needles rescued from these socks. So these are the pre-Strictly socks. However, they've also been beset with problems because I started these so long ago. I'd done the cuff and maybe a couple of rows plain, and I assumed, well, I thought that I had cast on 60 stitches. As it turns out, for some reason, I'd cast on 62. But then I'd obviously, at some point, reduced back down to 60, because I definitely had 15 stitches per needle. I was knitting this on DPNs. So I decided to do the heel from Jules, who's So Sweet Violet, her sweet vanilla cuff down socks. And I don't know what type of heel this is, but I've never done it before. Is it a Go Day heel? I meant to look it up before I started filming, but of course I forgot. So halfway through doing the Go Day heel, Phoebe, who was next to me on, sorry, the assumed Go Day heel, Phoebe, who was next to me on the sofa, kicked me and I dropped my needle out of the knitting, so I lost a load of the increased stitches and I didn't know how to fix it, so I just kind of picked up the stitches. So I've got a bit where the increases should be here, it's just kind of plain, so it's a bit messier on this side than it is on this side. Anyway, I got to the end of the sock, started the second sock, forgot, even though I had this sock in front of me, which is clearly a 1x1 twisted rib, I did a 2x2 twisted rib instead. And clearly where this one's only got about 2 or 3 rows of purple, I did about 4 or 5 on this one. So the ribs are going to be completely different. I obviously cast on 60 stitches, not realising I'd originally cast on 62. I've done the same heel, which on this second sock is actually a lot neater. It's come out a lot better because obviously I'd had the practice on the first sock. And I've got past the gusset decreases last night whilst I was watching Buffy with Lilia, and it's come out a lot neater. Very, very pleased with that. Lilia's tried it on and it really fits her foot well. She wears shorty socks around the house all the time. So I've said to her, these are going to be called Frankenstein socks because they're a Halloween colourway and they're completely mismatched and thrown together using all different body knitting parts. They're a bit of a disaster, but they're going to fit her and she's going to enjoy them because she loves Halloween. So that is my half finished object, my Frankenstein pre-Strictly socks. Do I have anything else to say about those? No. Let's move on to works in progress, and let's hope that I don't, now that I've got warmed up and into the podcasting spirit, let's hope that I don't ramble through the works in progress in the same way that I've just done the half finished object. So my first work in progress is well, I'm just going to quickly flash at you, don't panic, I mean I'm going to flash you my work in progress. that I'm not going to show you much of. It's my corner to corner crochet moss stitch rectangular blanket. I've been doing this for ages, and I've picked it up again recently, and I've really been making a dent on it. I've now turned the corner to start making it a rectangle, so it's going to be quite difficult to show you. So this is a right angle triangle where you work corner to corner, and then when you get to the point where it's long enough along the shorter edge of the rectangle, you start to turn it into a rectangle by at one edge you start knitting upwards, and then when you have it the length that you want, which is going to take some time, then you start to close it off and finish off the rectangle. So I don't know if you can see the shape. Doesn't that look nice? So since I last spoke to you, I've done, let's have a look, where were we? We were on King Penguin the last time we spoke, which was a really beautiful one about here, just above that bright pink colour. So I've done a fair amount, about 1.5 inches more since we last spoke, but I'm not going to get this out every time because it is a slow growing thing. It's single crochet and chains, so it grows very, very slowly. But I absolutely love working on this because I just put my colours in completely randomly, and I love just watching how it all works up, and it just makes me happy. I love scrappy projects that are completely unplanned. They make me smile. But I'm not going to show you that every time because otherwise you're going to get really fed up with the corner to corner moss stitch blanket. But I will put a link to the pattern that I'm using from Every Trick on the Hook. It's free and it's really, really easy, and it gives such a nice fabric, nice and drapey. So I would highly recommend that as a nice, easy, meditative project. My next work in progress. Okay, so this comes with a correction of what I said last time. I spoke last time about the wild wheat shawl that I was making, which was in this little dodgy bag that I made. And I had decided that I wasn't I liked the pattern a lot, but I wasn't enjoying the way the yarn I'd chosen was going to work up in that pattern. And also, to get the most of the wild wheat pattern, I don't think I've got it in here. Oh no, I do have it in here. It is a bit of a terrible copy, but I'll show it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. But if you go onto Ravelry or just Google, you should be able to find images of it. I think it would work best as a really massive shawl. You can't, that's just one corner of it. It's one of these patterns we can just keep going with as much yarn as you like until it's big enough and then finish it off. And I thought it would work better as a really, really big shawl, which meant I was going to have to start adding more and more colours, and I just would have preferred to do it in 1 or 2 skeins of yarn rather than keep adding in lots of bits and bobs of colours. I wasn't happy with how it was looking. So what I've done is I frogged it, and I will come back to the wild wheat shawl another time. I'll find some yarn that's suitable for my stash, and one day I will make that again. But instead, I have put the yarn, which I'll talk about in a minute, into another project. The yarn I am using is by Back to Blighty, and I am going to find the little card. Back to Blighty, who's my friend Becky. She's a lovely dyer, and I said last time that this yarn was a gift from Becky. It wasn't. It was a gift from my friend Jodie, and the reason I got it mixed up is I've also got another project with a mini set from Becky at Back to Blighty that was a gift from Becky. I'm making a pair of scrappy socks. That's my car project, so it's downstairs in my bag for when we go on car journeys, and that set is called Crocus. This set is called Just Breathe, and it was a gift from lovely Jodie. I've done the first 3 colours, so what I've decided oh, it's this way up. What I've decided to do is make a cow, and in the last episode I showed you a cow that I'd made just on a whim with leftover acrylic yarn from making a fat-bottomed granny bag, and I made a crochet cow using a pattern that was in Simply Crochet magazine. It's a pattern by Sarah Shrimpton, who is Anna Boo's house. There's the pattern from the magazine. There's the picture from the magazine. So I just had this magazine in my magazine stash, and I made the cow, and I really enjoyed making it, and it was really effective. But I only, because I was doing it in Aran weight yarn and the pattern is for a fingering weight yarn, I only did 2 of the patterns given in the pattern. So there's this, I'm not explaining myself. The pattern is written to use a mini set of 5 minis, and each colour has its own texture pattern. But because I was using Aran weight and just leftover yarn, I just did 2 of the texture patterns in the green one that I talked about last time, which I now realise I should have probably brought with me to show you, because I would have been able to express myself better. So this time I'm actually using a mini set of 5 minis, and I can do all of the texture patterns. So I've really been enjoying it. I've done the first 2, and what I'm doing is I'm following the pattern, but I'm just working until I can see that I won't have enough yarn to finish another round, and then I'm adding the next colour. So you can see the first one in the grey is like a shell pattern, and then you've got this front post double crochet ribbon lace pattern, and this is all crossed over double crochets or treble crochets if you're using UK terms. This was a really horrible section to do. I didn't enjoy that cross. I mean, it's really lovely now it's finished and I love the texture, but yeah, it was a bit of a bind to do this section. And then the next, whoops, just dropped the hook, which I'll show you. So the next colour in the mini set is going to be the lavender, and then it will finish with the speckly one at the top. So I've just got 2 more sections to do, and I was really rocketing through this. I thought I'd have it finished to show you, but I started working on my pre-Strictly socks to get those off the needles so I could cast on my Strictly socks, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, the yarn is gorgeous, and I'll put it on and show you how it's looking, because I know it looks, I also reduced the pattern, I should say, by about, I did write it down, so you have to start with a chain of 120, but I actually scaled it down and started with the chain of 102 because I wanted it to be a bit snugger around my neck. Now bear in mind I've still got 2 sections to go. But you can see it already sits quite nicely like this, but with 2 more sections it's going to bunch around my neck and be so snuggly and cold. So snuggly and cold. So snuggly and warm on cold days. Perfect for the school run actually. I wore a hand crocheted shawl this morning on the school run. I was so happy, and hand knit socks and boots. Just brilliant. So when this is finished, this will be straight into action on the school run. Really happy with it. So thank you to Jodie for sending the Just Breathe yarn. And I'm using, so she sent me this yarn during lockdown when I was doing lockdown vlogs. I did vlogs every day. Oh, I can't even remember now, sort of from the second to last week of March all the way through to July almost, throughout lockdown, just to keep myself sane. And Jodie sent me this during lockdown, and Mother's Day also happened during lockdown. And for Mother's Day, my youngest daughter Phoebe, with the help of my husband, my hair's all frizzy now, putting things up over my head, bought me this gorgeous hook. Best mum ever. It's a really chunky hook and I love it. There you go, just in case you didn't know, that's me. Best mum ever. That's my title. So I really love this hook, and I wanted to use that particular yarn set from Jodie with this hook because they just spoke to me as lovely things that I would just enjoy using together. And the hook is actually from a place near where we go on holiday sometimes in Cornwall, Coru Clay Studio. I think they've got a website, corruclaystudio.co.uk. In case you're interested, they do all kinds of Fimo or polymer clay crochet hooks, and that's in my dodgy bag. So that's my other whip, and I'm looking forward to getting that finished. This week I want to finish this and finish my pre-Strictly Frankenstein socks and have those done, so I've got room to properly cast on my Strictly socks. I've got a couple of Halloween projects that I've got on the go. One is living in this lovely Halloween bag by Craftmonger Law. It's got a gorgeous little pumpkin hanging on it as well. It's just perfect to have around the living room at this time of year because it's so Halloweeny. And in this I've got the yarn for making some more pumpkins. I showed the pumpkins that I made last time, so I haven't brought them up to show now, but I'm going to make some more in this colour. I absolutely love this yarn. I need to get some more in different colours. This is Crochet yarn by Jenny of All About Yarn and Zoe of the Pins and Needles podcast. I made a gorgeous hat using this, and it makes the perfect pumpkin colour, and I've got enough to do at least another 2 or 3 little pumpkins to go on my mantelpiece. So that's something else I would like to work on over the next couple of weeks in the lead up to October, the lead up to Halloween. And in this bag, which is one of my favourite bags of all time, it's by Mrs. S Creations. Let me see if I've got Jilly's deets in her. Got a lot of stuff in here. I can't find anything in here because there's so much stuff in it, but there's the label. Mrs. S Creations. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, oh look, here we on the back. Mrs. S Creations on Instagram and www.mrsscreations.com. And I put all my very favourite pins on here. Actually, not all of them, some of them are on other bags. Life is One Big Whip, that's by Chrissy Crafts. And I've got all kinds on the front here. Look, Autumn Enthusiast. Got my Betsy Makes on there. Caroline Love to Sew. Of course, I've got my Hello Barbara. What was that? Hey Barbara. Then I've got Growing Up is Optional. I've got another Caroline Loves to Sew one. I've got my Crafty Clegs. I've got my own one because you've got to have your own one. I've got my Gryffindor pin because I am a Gryffindor. And I've got a crab and a moomin. And I've got my Ducky Darlings pin as well. It's just a lovely bag for displaying pins. I keep this just on the side. I love it. And in here I've got another Halloween project, which again I'm only going to flash you. It's Spooky Mitts by Hannah of Hannah from Sheets Alley. Made this last October. However, even with my freakishly small hands, you can tell my gauge is completely off. They're even too small for Phoebe. So I'm going to rip this back and start again with a few changes. But colour work and me is not a natural thing. So I need to make sure I've got room in my days and my brain in order to sit down and do that. But I would really like to have those for this Halloween. So let's see how that goes. So those things will be popping up in Vlogtober because Vlogtober starts on Thursday. And I'm doing Vlogtober this year. I'm really excited. It's my favourite time of year. It's going to be slightly different. I couldn't have guessed when I was doing lockdown vlogs earlier in the year that when we got to October we might be doing lockdown vlogs again, because they are talking about doing a mini lockdown over the October half term. So I'm hoping we might get out for a few adventures to spooky castles like we would normally do in October, but whatever happens I shall be taking you along with me, so make sure you tune in for my Vlogtober vlogs. It's basically just me taking you around with me in my very average life. And talking about knitting pumpkins and other things that come to mind. Right, my next work in progress that I'm going to share with you, because so I did a Woolality TV episode recently where I confessed to having 22 whips on the go. And since then I've found at least 3 more hidden in different places. So this is not an exhaustive list of my whips. I'm just covering, the tip of the iceberg. This isn't actually a whip yet, but I have got everything together to do my Strictly socks for 2020. So I wanted to show you what I'm going to be using. So the first thing I've chosen is my bag. And this is a bag that was given to me last year by Julie at So Unique. And it's got bright red and it's got musical notes and Lindy Hop dancers all over it, and I absolutely love it. A, because it's got an image of dancing on it. B, because it's a lovely bright sort of colour, lovely for this time of year, and it reminds me of trips to Chatham Dockyard where they often have Lindy Hop dancers there, which is something we often do towards the end of September and into October. It's a lovely place to visit, so it reminds me of Chatham. And then on the inside it's lined with vintage dresses, which also reminds me of like the 1940s days at Chatham, and it just reminds me of this time of year. For me, stuff like that is evocative of September, October, going back to school, the sort of maritime feel of Chatham dockyards, and it's just, yeah, so it was the perfect choice for my Strictly socks. And she even put in a little matching lavender pillow, which is smelling gorgeous. I have selected, because I always knit with DPNs. That's not true. I don't always knit with DPNs. I don't know why I said that. I prefer to knit my socks with DPNs at the moment. So for my DPN cozies, I have chosen this one by Eva of Coco and Flora, who is a very, very talented maker and filmmaker as well. She has a YouTube channel. She doesn't update very often, but when she does, the stuff she does is really high quality. It's enjoyable to watch. She obviously puts a great deal of effort and thought into it. Oh, I didn't know what that was. If you can hear that, it's a lorry going past on our very small road. Looks like it's taking concrete somewhere. Yeah, so definitely check out Eva's channel. She's Coco and Flora, and her Etsy shop where she sells cute little things like this. And my other one that I've chosen, this is one of my favourite DPN holders of all time, is by Knitting I Love, Barbara at Knitting I Love. Very, very, I really like this one. Whenever I use it, I just think, why don't I use this one more often? So those are my DPN holders that I've chosen. And then the yarn that I've chosen, now I might be a bit ambitious here, but I'm kind of in my head thinking I might do 2 pairs of Strictly socks this year. Now, given that I've barely ever finished 1 pair of Strictly socks, this may be over ambitious or slightly delusional. So I'm hoping to make some with the official Strictly yarn, which is by Kelly Lay. Now, I think she's sold out now, but I'm hoping to get my hands on some at some point. So if I do get that, I will make some Strictly socks with the official yarn. Again, I may be delusional in thinking I will have the time to do that. But in the meantime, I have chosen a very, oh, I'm going to sneeze, hang on. Sorry about that, I've got the sneezes today, apparently. Yeah, I've chosen a very luxurious yarn that I bought. I think I bought this at the Southern Wool Show last September. Remember when we used to be able to go to wool shows? Those were the days. I'm going to have to go and get a tissue, otherwise I'm going to be sniffling. Hold on. Sorry about that. We all seem to be getting a slight amount of sniffles with the kids going back to school. It's the first time we've all been exposed to any form of germs in about 6 months. So yeah, we've all got slight sniffles. Anyway, the yarn that I've chosen is this. I got it at the Southern Wool Show last September, and I've already balled it up. I like to ball up my yarn. I enjoy the process of balling up my yarn. I don't ever cake it up. I don't have a caking device. Is that what they're called? A ball winder. So I've already balled it up. I've split it into 2. Oh, they're so nice, these colours. And it is called, it's actually a Star Wars colourway, which Dan was rather excited about. It's by Third Vault Yarns, who's Lola. That's her really cool little logo. And I remember being at her stall that day, just umming and ahhing over which ones to get. And this is a bit of a luxurious one because it's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere and 10% nylon. So they're going to be luxury socks. Oh yes, look, I've even written on here, Southern Wool Show, August 19. That can't be August because I thought it was always the first weekend in September. Anyway, there you go. Have I written that? Or has Lola written that? No, that's my writing. And it's called Rey, which is a character in Star Wars. Apparently, Dan told me. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to making my socks with these. I'm going to be making the Lola socks by Jules of So Sweet Violet. And just as a reminder, and I will talk about this again later, but every pattern that Jules sells of the Lola socks, she's donating £3 to Bill's Special Bus, which is a charity fundraising thing that a charity fundraiser that Gaynor, my lovely friend Gaynor of Tales from Cuckoo Land, is running at the moment. She has all kinds of great raffles that goes on over on her channel. She does a different raffle every month. She's had things like advent calendars, yarn advent calendars from Lay Family Yarns, hand knitted shawls. I think the one she's got this month is for you buy a raffle ticket and you get into the draw for a yarn advent calendar from Beaches and Birdsong Yarns, which is amazing. She's going to have artworks, project bags, yarn, all kinds of things over the months and months and months worth of stuff she's got to try and raise money for this appeal to buy a bus for a very, very special school that her son, her eldest son Bill, goes to. So she's raising a hell of a lot of money for a very good cause, and lovely, lovely Jules has got on board with that by doing the official Strictly pattern this year and donating a lot of the money from the sale of that to that cause. And also Kelly, who I spoke about earlier, who's doing who was doing the Lola yarn sets, absolutely beautiful yarn set. She is donating £4 from the sale of every one of those sets to the same charity as well. I did have a look at her website this morning and they're not on there, so I think she might have sold out. So if you've already got one, you're very lucky to have it, and you've already, by buying that yarn, have made a contribution to a lovely charity. But if you are using a different yarn or even a different pattern, make sure you go and buy one of Jules's Lola Socks pattern, because she's still donating for the duration of the Strictly Sock Along, which is until the end of the year. She's still donating that money to a fantastic cause, so you'll still be really helping out. And if you hop on over to Gainer's channel as well, there's so much more. You can just buy a raffle ticket for like £1 or £3 or however much you want, and you'll be in with a chance to win some absolutely astounding prizes. So I hope I haven't forgotten anything there. But basically Kelly and Jules are just doing a wonderful thing by donating all of that money to such a good cause, and Gaynor herself is doing such wonderful things with fundraising, and yeah, just want to talk about it and let you know. Where was I? I went off on a little fundraising spiel there, didn't I? Yeah, so my yarn is Ray by Third Vault Yarns. I'm going to be making the Lola socks. I can't wait, and as soon as I finish my pre-Strictly socks and I've got my needles, I can cast them on. They've already done 2 specials, because it's a bit different this year with Strictly. It's starting sort of towards the end of October rather than towards the end of September. Less contestants, it's going to be a lot shorter, and they're doing some, in the meantime, they're doing on Saturday nights sort of Strictly specials. So this weekend just gone, they looked back at lots of Blackpool weeks. The week before that they did movies, and then next week they're going to do musicals, and it's really fun. We love snuggling up together as a family and watching it. It's just so cosy. It's cosy TV. It's easy TV. Yeah. So those are going to be my Strictly socks. Moving on to incoming things. I have a few bits that I've bought, a few Strictly prizes that have come in, and a gift that I thought I'd share with you. So the first thing I will share, I don't know why I'm talking whale, Strictly prizes. So I have got tons and tons of Strictly prizes, which I shall talk about more later when I talk about the Strictly Sock Along properly. Although I've rabbited on enough about it already, but there's more to say, much more to say. So I've got a few prizes here. There are some more on the way, and there are some that are going to be sent direct as well. But the ones I've got here, I thought I would share with you. We've got enough Strictly prizes now, by the way. People have been so generous with offering patterns or project bags or yarn or crafting boxes. We've got absolutely tons. So thank you to everyone that's contacted me. Hopefully I've got back to absolutely everyone that has contacted me. If I haven't, just give me a nudge for donating prizes. I honestly feel you're all amazing, because all the people that donate prizes are small businesses or makers who are just contributing a little bit to the fun of the Strictly Sock Along. And I think in this year of 2020, when it's been so difficult for the whole world to have something as frivolous and silly as the Strictly Sock Along going on, with so many fantastic prizes that people just send because they're lovely, it's just brilliant. So thank you so much. I honestly feel like your support in this just brings a little bit of magic, a little bit of Strictly magic to the world, and I really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've been sent over the course of this week. The first one I want to share with you is a stocking making kit from Dominique and Marie at Wool is the Answer. I'm just going to reach over and grab it. I have a basket of things here. I'll just put it on my lap. Oh no, Can you hear the rattling? I might have to put it somewhere a bit more sensible. Hang on a minute. Okay, in this bag from Wally's the Answer, I have got a pattern. It got a bit squished in the post, but I'll put it under a big book to flatten it out. It's all printed out for you. It's Wally's the Answer's Christmas stocking, designed exclusively by Katie Barber of What Katie Knits. So there is that. I'll go do 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 do. That's supposed to be like the gallery music. And that's the stocking. And this is also the stocking in different colours. So you get the pattern, but you also get, and this is what was jingling. You know when you get post and it jingles, it's going to be good post. You get a gorgeous Christmassy bag and a sleigh bell and all of the yarn in such gorgeous colours that you need to make your very own stocking. Look at those colours. Squidge, squidge. Oh, they've all got, I didn't notice that, they've all got tags on them. Oh, they've all got names. Scarlet, grey, oh, they've got colour names. Oh, they've got, right, so cherry red, scarlet, grey, gold, forest. Oh, just such amazing colours in there. There's a little Christmas card for you as well. Or is it? What is that in there? I haven't looked yet. Oh no, it's just a little, yeah, it's a little Christmas card wishing you a Merry Christmas. So that's one of the prizes that's arrived for the Strictly Sock Along. So I think what I'll do is make sure that that prize gets drawn fairly early on. So there are prize categories that get drawn throughout the next 3 months, so that whoever wins it has time, if they wish to make it before Christmas, they'll have time to do it. Oh, and I should say that that is is it a knitted pattern? It is a knitted pattern. So that is a prize for the knitters amongst you. So thank you so much, Dominique and Marie. That was really, really generous of you. And like I say, it's always exciting to get post that has a sleigh bell rattling inside of it. Okay, it's 9:30. Let's speed up a bit. The other thing I've got that arrived yesterday is some super sparkly minis from Jilly, again at Mrs S Creations, who made the bag that I spoke about earlier. So she sent some minis, and cheeky Jilly, very naughty, but in a good way, sent me my own. So I've got one set that's all beautifully wrapped up in tissue paper here. So you've got your yarn in there and also a little Halloween friend. And I have got an identical set, which means I could open it and show you, which is good. So as well as a sachet of my most favourite tea of all time. So this is going over there and being made into tea the moment I finish podcasting and before I go on lorry watch. I've got my Mrs S Creations card, and I've got my very own zombie. Oh, that's his back. You see, zombies very rarely do what you want them to. They're their own people. Their own dead people. Oh, naughty zombie. Anyway, I've named my zombie Craig, after Craig, one of the judges. My favourite judge, probably. It's between him and Motzi, I think. And this is the yarn. It's a super sparkly base. It's not just sparkly. It's like strictly sparkly. This is strictly sparkly yarn. This is not just sparkly. This is not just sparkly. This is strictly sparkly. That will only make sense to you if you've ever seen the Marks and Spencer's adverts. Aren't they gorgeous? So it's called the Silver Sparkle Sock, and this colour set is called Peacock Feathers, of course. You can see that right away. Now I said to Jilly when I messaged her, I was like, I'm not making these into socks because I can't hide this amount of bling on my feet. I need to make this into some kind of blingy cow or blingy hat. Blingy hat would be nice, wouldn't it? But a blingy cow also. I really like these colours. So thank you, Jilly, for giving me my own set of super sparkly minis and my own zombie, even though he is ill-behaved. And that will be one of the prizes in the Strictly Sock Along as well. My next prize that I have here is not for the Strictly Sock Along, actually. It's a prize for future giveaways. And it was from lovely Katie, who contacted me and said, I've got some yarn in my stash, I'm never going to use it. Can I donate it to you for you to either keep or to use as prizes? And I was like, yeah, you can. So she sent me 4 beautiful skeins of yarn from 3 lovely dyers. She also sent me some really lovely tea, which I've not heard of before. Has anyone heard of Heath and Heather? She says this is her favourite one. So there's nighttime tea. I love a nighttime tea. And lavender and echinacea, which I've just said that wrong, I know. I could do with that because echinacea is supposed to be good for your immune system, isn't it? So I might have that later as well. Try and shake this cold. So she sent some yarn. So one is by Glendale Fibres in the colour Dining In. That's so pretty, isn't it? I've not heard of Glendale Fibres before. I went and googled I went and looked up on Instagram all these dyers straight away. I think I'm following them all now. And then I've got Burrow and Soar, and I think the colourway here is Cottingley. Now this is the one skein that might not end up as a giveaway, because when Phoebe saw it, and Phoebe's favourite colour is purple, she was very interested. So it might be that Phoebe wants some socks or mitts or a hat or something out of that one. And then I've got 2 merino singles from Needle and Fred. There we go. It doesn't have a colourway name, but it's 100% merino wool. Look at that colour, isn't that lovely? Really love that colour. So I've got 2 of those as well for future giveaway. So thank you, Katie. That was really generous of you to think of this podcast and this podcast community when you were thinking of some way to donate your yarn. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And oh, I just spotted something in this basket that I should have shown you earlier. When I was trying to decide, there's a little story for you. So when I was trying to decide which yarn to use for my Strictly socks, I had a few options. So I had Ray, but I also had an actual Strictly inspired yarn called by Little French Meadow. I don't know why I'm showing you this. They don't dye anymore. They don't exist anymore, and it makes me so sad because I love them so much. And this was a gift from Alison of Little French Meadow Yarn way back. It was only in August last year. God, that feels like another lifetime now. But this was their colourway Charleston, the Charleston. So I was like, oh, that might be good. And it was a sock set. You get a full 100 grams plus 20 grams. So pretty. So I thought I might use that. And then I also had, I know that I have a skein of Sherry Iris Ballroom Silks, and I can't find it. And I know I've got it, and this is not a big house. I do not live in a big house. It's a small house, and I have no craft room, so my yarn and crafty stuff lives in, like, maybe I've got 4 or 5 boxes, and that is it. Those are the places where my yarn lives. And if they're not in those boxes, I have no idea where it is. I have never lost a skein of yarn before. The Mystery of the Ballroom Silks. That sounds like an Agatha Christie novel, doesn't it? The Mystery of the Ballroom Silks. Where is it? So I think in October we're going to have a bit of a hunt around for the missing yarn. How can I lose a whole skein of yarn? It makes no sense. And it was a gift as well. I'm very sorry, Sherry, if you're watching. It will be in this house. It is in this house somewhere. It's just a case of detecting where. I went off on a tangent there, didn't I? All right, I bought some yarn for a giveaway. Now, I don't think I'm going to run the giveaway just yet. Let me just check, because I'm waiting to hear a message back. Let's just see if I've heard back from the lady. No, not yet. So I bought some yarn for a giveaway because 2 things happened over the last 2 weeks. The first thing is I reached my 4-year podiversary. Now, it seems to me that a lot of the podcasts that I watch have also just about hit their 4-year podiversaries, meaning we've been podcasting for 4 years. So that's funny, isn't it? That we've all been in it for around the same amount of time, which I just lovely. It feels like part of a family. So yeah, 4 years. Who would have thunk it when I first started gabbling away to the camera 4 years ago that I'd still be here insisting on talking to you? Just goes to show that persistence means you're still here after 4 years talking to people about knitting socks whilst watching dancing shows. Anyway, that happened. And also, and now the channel is never about the numbers. Never about the numbers. It's about how making these videos makes me feel and how the interaction with you makes me feel. And the internet can be a very scary, horrible place. And I feel I'm very lucky in that the people that watch this podcast and comment have always been very, very kind. On the whole, very, very kind. I've very, very rarely had to deal with anything horrible. So I feel very appreciative of that. But this little podcast went over 10,000 subscribers last week, which is like, you know, the little mind blown emoji. That's me right now, mind blown. And I don't know, it's important to acknowledge and celebrate milestones, isn't it? So I bought some yarn. It's like any excuse. I bought some yarn to do a giveaway to celebrate 10,000 subscribers and 4 years. And I bought it from Loom Wool. It's called Faded Seaside Glamour. I got a couple of skeins from there, but one was a gift, so I don't have it anymore. So it's Loom Wool, Faded Seaside Glamour. Now I found this on Etsy, and then there was something very familiar about it, and I'm pretty sure that Kay of the Bakery Bears was talking about this. This yarn company, which might have been what made me think to click into the shop. But it's absolutely gorgeous, this colour. Faded Seaside Glamour. And I thought that was really lovely because you all know how much I love a trip to the seaside. In particular, we love to go to Westgate-on-Sea, on the Kent coast here in the UK. And I just thought that was a yarn that kind of represented things that I love. Faded Seaside Glamour, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And it was all beautifully wrapped in like recyclable packaging. And you get some bird and blend tea with it, which I'll also pop in. And then there was a lovely little thank you note from Jess, who runs Loom Hand Dyed Yarns as well. So I was really pleased with that. And what I'm waiting for is there's a lovely lady, I won't say her name just yet, sorry about all the rustling, who contacted me on Ravelry to offer one of her patterns. And I was very, very tardy in my response, but I've gone back to her to say that would be great if if the winner could have the yarn and then be able to then pick a pattern from her shop to go with it. I think that would be brilliant. So I'm going to wait until I hear back from her, and then I'll probably mention it in Vlogtober and in the next episode as well. And I'll put up a thread so people can go and enter into that to win the yarn. But I will keep you posted on that giveaway. Right, I also had a couple of bits I bought and a gift. So I bought some badges. Oh, I meant to bring something else up. Hold on, let me go and get it. So if things look a bit different, it's because I just kicked the tripod. Oh, so I just went downstairs to get the reason why I've been buying badges on Etsy. So I bought some badges, A, because I liked them, and B, because I wanted to get an idea of how these two people packaged up their badges, which I'll get to the reason why in a minute. So the first one I ordered was from, running out of lap space here, was from Sugar and Sloth. It's a UK based company on Etsy. They're really good fun. They're funny. They sell all kind of badges and stickers and things. So I ordered this for Phoebe's birthday. Her birthday's at the end of November. It says, "Today's all about me." So I've got that for her to put in with her card, so she can wear that on her birthday. But it came with a little sticker, and it says, "I see you're gangster." Well, I'm pretty gangster myself. With a really cute little frog in a cute bowl. I thought that was really funny. And the little leaflet that came in with it says, "Never apologise for how you look," or what's it? I can't read it backwards. "For how you look or how you feel." So I'm going to stick that up on the back of my wardrobe door where I stick little things like that. So that was really nice. I'm really pleased with that. I'm going to put that in with Phoebe's birthday bits. And the other one I ordered was from this lady. She is an illustrator, Hello Mei Ying. That's her card that came with it. She is Lydia May Ying, and she is hellomayying.com. And that's all her details there. And I ordered one of her larger badges, which I have just dropped. And I'm going to take it out of the packaging because it's in a little plastic bag, which will be all shiny. And I got one of her illustrated bear. The bear has a name. I can't remember what the bear's called. Look at that. She does them on all different backgrounds. So obviously I had to get the yellow one because I love yellow. I just love that. So I'm really, really happy with that. I'm going to stick it on one of my bags or one of my yarn pod bowl things. And the reason I ordered those is I wanted to get an idea of how people packaged up pins to deliver them safely through the post. And I'm glad that I did, because now I've got a good idea of how 2 different sellers do it. And that is because I had produced some, I did an illustration to go with the Strictly Sock Along, and I had them made into little badges. And the idea was that I am going to sell these. However, I want to tweak the design a little bit. So I'm going backwards and forwards at the moment with a badge making company about trying to get a little bit of help to just do some adjustments. I can do it myself, but it takes me a long time. I don't have the right software and stuff. But this is the original design. This is just my drawing turned digital, and they updated. I did have Strictly Socks handwritten, but it didn't quite sit right on the badge, so I asked them to change it to a different font, which they did for me. So and I've done them in 4 different colourways. So that's the first colourway. That is the second colourway. Because the idea was that you might want to collect them, or, you know, maybe you have a preferred aesthetic. So it's good to have choice. And then I've got the same colour but with a black background. So that's the first colourway, black background. I like black backgrounds, they're nice and bold. And then that's the second colourway, black background. And I really like them. I was really quite chuffed with them, but I wasn't like fully chuffed. So, but people have been really positive about them. But I just want to tweak them a little bit just to make sure they're perfect. And I only ordered a very small batch of these. So I'm going to include some when I send out prizes. And the rest, I can't quite decide if I'm going to sell them. If I do sell them, it'll be with 50% of the profits going to Bill's special bus. But I'm just I need to get my head around how much I'd sell them for. They're a very low cost item to sell. I mean, no badges on Etsy I've seen are above about £1.50. So they'll be really affordable. But obviously there is postage and stuff to think about. But they're also quite cheap to post because they're just a large letter. I'm going to have to put something on the screen because I was just holding that up with my address on it there. Let's hold it up this way. So if when I was talking just then you saw a little blurred bit on the screen, that's me covering up my address. Yeah, so those are my Strictly badges. And I am really excited about them. I feel really proud. It's something I wanted to do for a while, and I've got a couple of other things in the pipeline as well. So let me know what you think in the comments. Unless you don't like them and hate them, in which case don't let me know what you think. I don't need to know. I don't need to be told that you don't like them. So only tell me if you do like them. It's just like filter out what I want to hear. Tell me what I want to hear in the comments below. I'm joking. So that's the other thing that I've had coming in. And then I've had a gift as well. Yeah, I got this quite a while ago, not long after the last podcast. It was from a lovely viewer of this podcast called Jacqueline. Sent me a gift via Joe at Pickle Lily. And she sent me this gorgeous lobster bag, which I haven't used because I've been waiting to show it on the podcast. So Joe at Pickle Lily, I often see her, she's absolutely lovely. I often see her at yarn shows, and I've got quite a few of her little bags and yarn pods and things like that. She's absolutely lovely. So I've got my own Pickle Lily lobster bag, which I can now use now that I've shown you. But she also sent me one of Pickle Lily's mystery crafting boxes. This is something you can buy on the Pickle Lily website, and it's a mystery craft box, and you usually get little crafty bits, maybe something handmade, a little project, some tea. So in this one you've got the ingredients to make some little kids some flowers. If you can hear that buzzing noise, it's because Dan has come back from his run. He ran 7k this morning, he told me when I went downstairs to get the badges. And he's now in the shower, and the shower is in the loft, which is above this bedroom. And we have a, what do you call it, thing that pumps the water, basically. Can't remember what it's called. But it's a pump. It's a pump. It's a pump that pumps the water, and it makes a racket in our bedroom when someone's having a shower up there. So if you keep hearing that noise, it's down in the shower. And when it stops, you know he's clean. I've got some washi tape and other bits, some lovely tea. I've got some handmade bunting that Jo made herself. So I'm going to save that for summer, to put up at summer, in the summer. Really lovely. So thank you, Jacqueline, for thinking of me. It was just like a thank you for the podcast present, which was so lovely of her. Actually, Jo of Pickle Lily is donating one of her mystery boxes as a Strictly prize, which is very exciting. I've got 2 of her mystery boxes now, and they've both been so lovely, like a little present. You know, even if you buy it yourself, because it's a surprise and it's just stuffed full of stuff, it feels like such a lovely little gift. Yeah, so thank you. I was just about to move on to Strictly Sock Along when I realised that I've got one more thing to show you. I ordered something from Ellie at Craft House Magic, and I'm not going to say what it was because it's a present for my girls and I'm worried they might see this and it will give it away. But when I arrived, Ellie very kindly put in some little yarn minis with it, and I wanted to show you because they're so pretty. So this is Ellie's card. I'm sure you know of Ellie. She's a UK based maker and seller. She's Craft House Magic, and she's put in a mini of her yarn Footloose and her pumpkin patch. Look at these yarn, look at them, and look at them together. Oh, so beautiful, perfect for this time of year, just gorgeous. Thank you, Ellie. So I'm assuming that these are on sale in Ellie's shop as actual full mini skeins. Look at that. Maybe I could make a really mini pumpkin using this. That would be cool. Or I might just put it in my blanket. But thank you, Ellie. That was a really lovely surprise. Strictly Sock Along, as if I've not talked about it enough. I want to just fill you in. So this is a yearly, in case you didn't know, it's a yearly, and this is the 4th year, knit and crochet along event where we make socks whilst watching the Strictly Sock Along, or whatever the equivalent is in your country. Dancing with the Stars, I think it is. But there is a twist in that you are encouraged to cheat. Not everybody watches Strictly, not everybody watches Dancing with the Stars, and you are encouraged to come up with the most cunning underhand tactics you can to still be involved in the Strictly Sock Along. The idea is that it's fun, it's silly, it's nonsensical, it's an excuse to make socks. The only stipulation for prizes is that you do need to finish them and get them in the FO thread on Ravelry, which is linked underneath. I'm also working on setting up a non-Ravelry thread because I know so many people are still having problems. So I think I'm going to do that on Mighty Networks. I started doing it last night on my phone in the bath, but I think I need to get onto the computer to do a bit of tweaking. I'll let you know as soon as I've done that, but otherwise the chatter thread is in full swing on Ravelry. That's linked underneath as well. And I'm also going to create a prizes thread. It takes quite a lot of work to do, so bear with me while I put it all together, where I link all of the makers and small businesses who have donated prizes so you get an idea of the prizes that are up for grabs. There will be prizes drawn throughout where you don't have to have finished things, because I do draw prizes from the Instagram hashtag, which is Strictly Sock Along 2020. So make sure you're using that hashtag if you're on Instagram, because I will draw prizes from the hashtag. Now the prize categories, I'll just go into Ravelry, because even though it's my own sock along, I don't know the prize categories off by heart, even though I've been doing it for 4 years as well. Right, one moment please. Okay. So the prize categories, and these are the same prize categories we have every year, are the 10 from Len prize category. As soon as the first 10 is awarded in the 2020 Strictly Come Dancing series, I'll draw at least one prize winner at random from the chatter thread and also from the Instagram hashtag. So it's important that you're chatting and that you are using the hashtag, because as soon as that 10 is awarded, I'll draw at least one prize. We have many prizes, we have enough prizes now. I'm going to spend some time putting them together in, you know, parceling them up, making sure, putting some bits together with other bits or keeping them separate. I've got a load of pattern prizes as well. Jules of So Sweet Violet has offered one of each of all of her patterns. She's got 15 patterns. That's 15 pattern prizes from Jules. She's donated as a prize. I'll tell you more about some of the other prizes in a minute. The next category is the Halloween category, and there'll be at least one prize. I don't know why I said it like that. Said it like I was in Rocky Horror Picture Show or something. There'll be at least one prize drawn at random from the FO thread, the finished object thread, for anyone who has finished socks in the FO thread by the Halloween show, which is suspected to be Saturday the 31st of October. It falls on actual Halloween this year, so that's going to be fantastic. So if you've got FOs in the FO thread by that date, by Halloween, I will draw a Halloween prize from there. The next category is the Made It to Blackpool prize. So every year on Strictly Come Dancing, there's one show that comes live from the Blackpool Tower Ballroom. I'm assuming they're still doing that this year. They might have to do it slightly socially distant. And I will draw at least one prize at random from the FO thread for anyone with FOs in there by the Blackpool shows, which is suspected this year to be Saturday the 14th of November. But I'll keep you posted on that. Then there is the rule bending prizes. And I will choose at least one winner at the end of the sock along who I believe has employed the most impressive rule bending and underhand tactics. So if you're bending the rules, make sure you tell me in the FO thread. This is very important. If you're bending the rules, I need to know about it. If you are cheating and you are a cheaty McCheaterson, you need to tell me exactly how much of a cheat you are so that I can be impressed. It could win you a prize. And the final one is the Fabulous prize category. I will draw at least one winner at random from the chatter thread, from the FO thread, and from the Instagram hashtag at the end. And they'll all be random. And if I have another FO thread and another chatter thread on Mighty Networks, I'll include that as well. So there'll probably be 5 prizes at the end. We have plenty of prizes to do all of those things. Very exciting. So what else have I got to say about the Strictly Sock Along? You can knit or crochet any pattern you like. You can use any yarn you like, but don't forget what I told you about Jules's pattern, the Lola socks, because if you do buy that, even if you're not knitting it this year, you'll be helping to raise money for a fantastic cause. And the same with Kelly's yarn. Like I said, I'm not sure what the availability is for that at the moment, but when it is available and when you're purchasing it, whether you've already got it or you're going to do it on a pre-order, I don't know at the moment. Money from the £4 from the sale of each of those will go to the same cause as well. So thank you so much again, Kelly and Jules, for doing such a fantastic thing. I mentioned to hop on over to Gayna's channel as well, because honestly, she has so many gorgeous. If you're a yarny, knitty, crochet-y person, you need to get on over there because there are some fantastic prizes that she's got. What else? Oh! So we know all of our contestants here in the UK now. They've all been announced. I barely ever know who anyone is, but I always say I don't care who they are. They could drag people off the street. They don't have to be celebrities, because I will love them all by the end of it. You get to know people. That's the whole point. You get to know people by watching them take part in this show. So I couldn't care less if I know who they are, but I do know who quite a lot of them are. And we have got our first same-sex couple on Strictly Come Dancing this year, which is just about blinking time, and it'll be really, really good to see. So the contestant in question is Nicola Adams, who is Nicola Adams OBE, I should say, OBE. She is a gold medal winning Olympic boxer. She's pretty epic. She did a really lovely post on her Instagram saying how she's really proud. She's going to be dancing the lead. She's going to be dancing the lead. So it'd be really lovely to see that. I'm very happy. We've enjoyed the first couple of specials. Really looking forward to the musicals one this weekend, because my girls are both big into musicals. And what else? Oh, prizes. So I'll tell you what prizes we've got. So from all of these incredibly generous small businesses and makers, I've already told you about some already, so I'm not going to read through the whole list, but the ones that have come in since the last time I told you about prizes are, big breath, I've already told you about Jules and her 15 patterns. I've got a bag from Julie at So Unique. I have more yarn from Suzanne at Green Lambkin Yarns. I believe she's going to go with one of her Christmas colourways. I've got the stocking kit that I've already showed you from Marie and Dominique at Well Is The Answer. I'm going to have a project bag and a notions pouch from Dawn's Days, which she will post directly, but she's going to send me a picture. Dawn's Days, Dawn has her own podcast here on YouTube. It's called Dawn's Days. I'm going to have an Eldenwood craft bag, which is amazing. Thank you, Emma. The yarn from Lay Family Yarns. Thank you, Kelly. I will make a dodgy bag to inflict upon some poor winner at some point as well. I've got some yarn from Jen at Castle View Yarns. Thank you, Jen. From, oh, now I should have checked how to say your name. I want to say Lone, but I'm guessing it might be Lona. It's a Danish name. I've got some yarn from Lone, who is a lonely sock lady. Actually, maybe it is Lone then, if your name is a lonely sock lady. Anyway, she's a Danish yarn dyer who very kindly offered a prize for the Strictly Sock Along. Got my eye on the time, still got an hour until Lorry Watch, we're all right. I've got some super sparkly minis from Jilly, which you saw from Mrs S Creations. I've got a bag from Leanne at Stitch Union, and she's in New Zealand, and she's going to post that directly to whoever wins it, and again I'll have a picture to share with you. I've got another bag from Cheryl at Cherry Pie Crafts in New Zealand, and it was so funny because both the ladies in New Zealand contacted me within like 2 days of each other. It was like, wow, amazing. The other side of the world is just fantastic. And the mystery box direct from Jo at Pickle Lily, plus all the other prizes I've already talked about. And there is one more. I saw an email and a message on my Instagram, I'm pretty sure, this morning, which I haven't read yet. So there's at least 2 more prizes in that as well. Fantastic. Thank you so much to all of the people that have donated prizes. This is what makes the Strictly Sock Along such a special and exciting event, and just so joyous. And especially at the end of this ridiculous year, we all need this silliness and this fun and this sparkliness. We need the glitter, we need the bling. Yeah, we just need it. Books and stuff is my next category. So this is where I tell you all about things we've been enjoying watching or that I've been reading, just stuff I've been enjoying over the past couple of weeks basically. I finally finished my book. Oh my god, that hurt my back doing that. Oh. I have been reading Something Fresh by P.G. Wodehouse. It was a gift from my sister a little while ago. I didn't get on with it too well to begin with, but I really enjoyed it towards the end, and I finished it yesterday and it had a lovely ending. I was really pleased with it. This is actually the first novel in the Blandings series of novels, so I'd be tempted to get the next one to see what happens with the characters going on. So I really enjoyed it, and now that I have, I've left the other one on my bedside table, so I'm just going to tell you. Now I've finished this, I have started The Convenience Store Woman. It is by a Japanese author, and without having the book in front of me, I can't remember, so I'll put it on the screen. And I read the first 5 pages last night, and I'm already utterly loving it. And Dan read it on holiday, because I brought it with me on holiday but never got round to reading it. And when he saw me pick it up, he said, oh, he was like, you're really going to enjoy that book. I look at that book and it makes me happy. It reminds me of reading it on holiday. So that's a good review of a book. Review? No, a good, I don't know what word I'm thinking of. Anyway, it bodes well is what I mean. Running out of battery, and I'm very aware I've been talking for a very long time, so I'm going to race on. I've been continuing to listen on Audible to Black and British by David Olusoga on audiobook, which is read by Cobner Holbrook-Smith. I'm on to chapter 7 now, and I'm absolutely absorbed. It is, I cannot recommend it enough. It's such a comprehensive history of slavery, and as it says on the description of it, I wrote this down, how black and white Britons have been intimately entwined for centuries. Some of the stories are really heartening, some of the stories are really horrifying, and the whole, it's just fantastic. And he is releasing on the 1st of October a children's version. It's called Black and British, a short history, or I can't remember the exact name of it. It's released on the 1st, and it's only about £5 or £6. I think I'm going to get it for the girls, and it is for reading age 12 and upwards. And it was a person on Instagram, thank you, Heather, I think it was you, who messaged me yesterday to say that he had a kids version, and I had no idea, so I'm definitely going to get that because it's such a comprehensive and important book. I loved it. I'm still listening a little bit to the audio series, the Audible series, sorry, by Bonnie Greer, which is In Search of Black History. It's a very lovely thing to listen to, that, and I am enjoying it. I'm up to the 4th episode of 8 now, but I'm just enjoying the other one so much more that if I get a chance to listen to something, I go for Black and British because it just feels like such, I don't know, it's just absorbing me so much more at the moment. What have we been watching? We've been watching Bake Off. Did everyone see the first episode of Bake Off? It was so funny. I love Matt Lucas. He's going to be brilliant on this, and his opening thing as Boris Johnson was just epic. We loved it. We've been watching with the girls. I thought I'd include a bit of what we've been watching with the girls. We've got Disney Plus, and Phoebe has been discovering all of these like Disney series. So she started off with Hannah Montana, which she watched the whole thing. I wasn't too bothered by Hannah Montana. Then she started off with The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and then Sweet Life on Deck, which I really liked Sweet Life on Deck. I thought that was hilarious. I actually kept sitting down to watch it with her. And now she's on to That's So Raven, which is another one I'll sit down and watch with her because it's so funny. So we've had fun discovering all these Disney things. Dan and I are still catching up with Australian MasterChef. We're quite a few episodes behind, so don't tell us what happens. Don't tell us who wins if you're in Australia. We don't know. We absolutely love Australian MasterChef. We've been watching Grace and Perry's Big American Road Trip on Channel 4. That's been really good. We watched the first episode of that, and we really enjoyed it. Can't wait for more of that. And I've been watching The Grocery Girls. I've watched 2 full episodes of The Grocery Girls, and I loved them. I absolutely loved them. I can see why people enjoy it. I love that it was 2 hours long, because sometimes you start watching a podcast and you just get into the zone. You get into the zone of those people in that podcast, and then it finishes after 45 minutes or an hour, and you're like, oh, I was watching that. Why is it finished? So it's really nice to have something that lasts that long. They kept me company whilst I was doing my Team Tom and my cooking and things like that. So I really enjoyed them. And on that note, I'm going to go and get my battery pack and plug in my camera. Actually, no. Do you know what? I think I've just about finished. Let's see if we can do it before the battery runs out. So the giveaway for 4 years of relentless chattering to you about yarn, plus 10,000 subscribers. Mind blown. I will talk about next time. And just to remind you that this Thursday is the 1st of October, which means it's the first day of Vlogtober, and I will be Vlogtobering. So please make sure you come and check out my, I don't know, yabberings through my days. There should be lots of Halloween-y stuff and yarny bits and crafting and just taking you around. I've got a new sucky thing for my car, so I can put my camera in the car and film where I'm driving, so that should be fun. Take you to work with me and other such things. And that's it. Another rambling hour or more is over and done with. I'm probably going to put my notes down, turn the camera off and go, oh no, I forgot to talk about that. But I need to go and transfer all these files onto my computer to start editing later, and go and get ready to get my high vis on and take part in the neighbourhood lorry watch. I don't think I'll be able to knit whilst I'm doing it. That's the only thing, because I'll need to be taking pictures of lorries who are breaking the rules. I'm going to go and have my Yorkshire tea and something to eat, tidy up this mess that's all around me, and I will see you much sooner than you think. See you soon. Bye.